I had the abdominoplasty surgery. I decided that a long time ago it was something that I always wanted to have and never really got round to doing it. So when I decided to do some research on it last year, I thought now was the good opportunity for me to, it's either now or never really, because being 50 as well, I kind of thought if I don't get it done now, I'll never do it. So it was abdominoplasty, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so Mr. Siddiqui contacted me virtually in the first instance. So we had a video chat, and he went through the procedure, any complications that could potentially arise from that, and what my options were. And then he invited me to attend a face-to-face session, which I did within a couple of weeks from having the video consultation. It did have its challenges with the technical side. We did have a few technical issues with it. And I think in the end, Dr. Siddiqui did actually ring me up on the phone so that we could just finish off the questions and answer sessions. But it went really well. And I did feel comfortable talking to him. He made me feel at ease as much as he did when I had the face-to-face consultation, which was great.
Yeah.
It went really well. I wasn't really nervous when I went in as much as I thought I would have been. People were coming in and out. Obviously, the person that was doing the operation came in to speak to me. Dr. Siddiqui came in, gave me lots of reassurance and asked me if I'd got any final questions that I wanted to ask or anything that I wanted to run through before it all went ahead. I didn't have to wait very long either. I was in a private room. It was literally, I would say, half an hour I was there from actually booking in to actually going down to theatre, so that really helped with the nerves as well. But yeah, everybody was lovely. The reassurance, the professionalism of the staff, it was great. Yeah, I couldn't have asked for anything more. Yeah, it was really good. It was open and airy, very clean. It was a lovely atmosphere in there. I was never kept waiting more than 5 minutes for my appointment. Sometimes I was literally in when I was having my follow-up appointments and seen more or less straight away. So yeah, great experience with the whole process, really. I think I went in about 4 times, and I think the last one, it was more for my reassurance, really. I just got in touch with Dr. Siddiqui and just asked him if he could just double check that everything was going as it should. Didn't have a problem with seeing me again. He was very flexible with times and appointments, and when I'd actually had the procedure, he actually got in touch with me the following day just to check how I was, to make sure that I was, healing and the pain relief was enough for me. So yeah, 4 times I would think in total. I think everybody goes in with a little bit of apprehension about having an operation, but I didn't really feel that at all. I was made to feel very welcome. Felt really relaxed. The nursing staff were, asking if everything was okay and did I need anything, did I want to run through anything. As I said, Dr. Siddiqui came in to see me, and the person doing the operation came in to speak to me as well and run through, what would be happening with that. So yeah, it was great, really. I couldn't have asked for anything better to make me feel less nervous. Okay, so obviously there was a little bit of pain and discomfort, which was to be expected, and I had the drains in for a few days, but actually it was quite good. I did have painkillers for 3 or 4 days, but I kept myself moving. Dr. Siddiqui said, you need to try and keep moving and not sit in one position all the time for too long. I'm normally very active anyway, so that wasn't a challenge for me. I just obviously tried not to overdo it. I think the hardest thing was not doing the housework and all the usual chores. But yeah, apart from that, it was okay. Yeah, I think the worst bit was the first few days. It was just moving around, and I just felt a little bit discomfort. And with having the drains, and I think they were more discomfort than pain, really, having those in, because they're a little bit awkward to keep moving around with. But once I'd had those removed, and they were removed within 3 to 4 days after, it actually helped with the pain, and moving around helped as well. So I wasn't in a great deal of pain, and I stopped taking them within a week. Because I was lucky enough at the time working from home, I actually went back to work 4 days after the operation, which was quite early. Had I been doing a manual job, obviously I wouldn't have been in a position to go back to work at that time, but I was literally sat down at a desk. So as long as I kept moving around, it was absolutely fine. So yeah, I went back to work within 4 days, and I started doing little walks each day, just improving a little bit further, so that obviously that would help with the recovery as well. I think I did up to a mile for about a week or two, and then increased it to 2 miles, and then gradually, after about 6 weeks, I was doing 3 to 4 mile walks and power walking, because I do a lot of running as well. So obviously I didn't go straight back into doing the running again, but that came after about 8-10 weeks, until 12 weeks afterwards. But I did obviously resume normal activities and exercise before then. As I said, I just couldn't really thank Dr. Siddiqui enough for his support, his encouragement, and the time that he gives as well, to go through everything, and gives you time to think about it before you make that final decision. Even though I was saying at the consultation, yes, I definitely want it, he said, have a couple of weeks cooling off just to think things through and make sure that it is what you want and that you're happy with everything we've spoken about, which I thought was really, really good and helpful. So, and throughout the whole process, he's been there for me. He's showed me how to manage the scars and work through those with the massaging of them, and yeah, absolutely brilliant. So I couldn't ask for anything more really from him, so definitely recommend him, definitely.